So I've been getting a lot of questions about intermittent fasting, and somebody specifically asked me to talk more about intermittent fasting and female hormones. There are several types of intermittent fasts that you can find out there on the internet. The internet's crazy and it can be extremely confusing and overwhelming if you are new at all of this. Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Christine with Gauge Girl Training, an online meal planning and coaching service. I'm a food scientist and chemical engineer by training, and today we're going to talk about intermittent fasting and female hormones. So let's get started. So first of all, I want to thank you guys for the feedback and questions you have been leaving on my Q&A post on Instagram. If you're not already following me on Instagram, please do so at Gauge Girl Training. It's a great place where you can see my posts on a daily basis, see success stories of other clients, you can get some daily motivation, and also it's a great place to ask me questions that may end up being formed into an entire YouTube video or even an entire YouTube video series based off of the nature of the question. So make sure you are following me on Instagram. So I've been getting a lot of questions about intermittent fasting, and somebody specifically asked me to talk more about intermittent fasting and female hormones. So I wanted to address that. So the first thing we need to realize and step back is that female hormones are a very unique set of circumstances where the same type of protocol that you would apply to a man is definitely something you cannot apply to a female for several reasons. The first reason is the fact that females are much more sensitive to starvation signals as opposed to men. And the reason for that is when our leptin levels start to drop, what's going to happen is our bodies are extremely sensitive to those starvation signals because females are naturally intended to be able to nourish a growing fetus. And unlike men, they are just not in a situation where their body needs to be able to fuel a growing fetus. Whether you are pregnant or not, your body is in a state of being sensitive to those potential needs. So all of that being said, if a woman goes for a prolonged amount of time without eating, your starvation signals are going to go up, your leptin levels are going to drop, your body's going to say, oh crap, I'm starving, I'm hungry. And when you are feeling out of control hungry like that, it is actually not you being crazy, it is your hormones telling you to eat something so that way you can grow babies inside you. All that being said, the question comes up, well, should a woman be doing intermittent fasting at all given those circumstances? So the whole premise of intermittent fasting, which I explained in the previous video, is to go for periods of time where you eat no food and shortened period of times where you do eat, with the premise being by shortening your feeding window, your body is going to experience fewer insulin spikes. Fewer insulin spikes will allow your body to be in a fat burning mode longer because your pancreas is not releasing insulin over a longer period of time, and your pancreas is able to release the hormone glucagon, which is responsible for fat loss. So there are several types of intermittent fasts that you can find out there on the internet. The internet's crazy and it can be extremely confusing and overwhelming if you are new at all of this. So you can find fasts where you don't eat for a whole day, or you don't eat for a day or two and you only drink juices. There are fasts where you fast for 2 out of the 5 days a week and you essentially will have higher calories on all the other days. What I recommend for females is this. I recommend intermittent fasting no more than 12 to 16 hours as a maximum. Now, if you have insulin resistance, this is a great way to boost your sensitivity to insulin and help normalize those signals. And if you're just doing it for general health, you could do it in the 12 to 16 hour range, where you would eat anywhere in the 8 to 12 hour range. So the thing is If you are insulin resistant and you are one of those people who really struggle with carbohydrates, you struggle every time you eat them, they slow your metabolism down. This is great for my endomorph clients. If that is you, what I suggest is you implement this maybe 2 to 3 days a week, not in a row. I would say maybe try to space them out every couple days as far and wide as possible, with the measured outcome being improved insulin resistance. And you can get some blood work done, get your A1C levels tested to monitor that response. Now, if you have been trying to lose body fat and you have been plateaued on that process for quite some time, I would recommend going on a 16-hour fast and only allowing yourself to eat in an 8-hour window. Now, how long can you do this? That is a very good question. If you are monitoring your hunger levels and everything feels okay, I would say I just wouldn't want most females to go more aggressive than 16 hours unless there was a very specific circumstance and we worked on it together. The problem is a lot of women will just go about these things unsupervised. You Google a bunch of things on the internet and you think you know what to do just by following something. And I don't advise doing that because there is a context to everything, and the context that any articles that you read need to be applied to you and your situation. So what I am sharing today is I don't recommend intermittent fasting longer than 12 to 16 hours for most females, and due to the reason because of the hormonal response that you are going to have. If you have specific questions, if you want a one-on-one consult with me directly, you can purchase one, link below, and we will schedule it. It'll be a one-on-one phone call, go through and address your needs, or we could get you set up on a custom meal plan or online coaching. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.